What's going on, y'all? Cam Best here, your favorite inverted 69th ranked Marvel snapper, here to talk to you about the Mill deck that has broken out in recent weeks, a combination of Mill and Control that has been an excellent deck for me and many others in High Infinite. This deck is a very solid stats deck, and I think that's the best place to start with what this deck is trying to do. You don't need tunnel vision on being a mill deck. That just sort of comes naturally with playing cards that are generally good on stats. You have Baron Zemo, good on stats. Gladiator, good on stats. Even Cable is no longer terrible on stats now that he is a 2/3. These are things that happen for you naturally. One notable exclusion is Yondu, who is terrible on stats, as most one-drops are, and also is only ever hitting stuff you really aren't interested in hitting. This is not a deck that is looking to get enormous stuff off of Baron Zemo. This is a deck that is looking to restrict our opponent's options and then know what we have to play around and attempt to play around it perfectly. In essence, this is a deck that uses the mill as information and also does not have to pay a big cost associated with the mill. Because we're not playing bad cards like Yondu, we're just playing like deck cards that have reasonable stats and also mill, we get to use it as effectively a free roll. What that means is we have all of this ability to disrupt our opponent, but that's not our only plan. Our main plan is actually being a deck that is looking to win one game with the Professor X, win one lane, I should say, and then win another lane with either Cannonball or something enormous. This goes with your stats plan, because as a stats deck, you are very good at utilizing Professor X. You have a lot of cards that you can just curve out and be like, oh, I have some great Professor X stuff here. You even have room for Daredevil, which allows you to target your Professor X in the perfect location. This is a deck for people that liked playing Lockdown because it very much is a Lockdown deck. But what makes it relevant in the meta is two things. First, this deck has enough stats to compete with the Angela Elsa decks. It is not going to do better than their best draws, but it can compete in those games. Second, this deck is very good against combo decks because you get to very quickly figure out what is and is not going to happen in the game, and combo decks rely pretty heavily on you not knowing exactly how you're going to lose, or you staying in when you shouldn't, especially in the case of something like Hela. They are also reliant on having specific cards in a specific order. You have a lot of different ways to mess with combo decks. For example, against Phoenix Force, you can try to use Gladiator to get other things in the Phoenix Force pile so it doesn't bring back the thing they want it to bring back. You can use cards like Baron Zemo and Cable to disrupt decks like Hela some of the time. Obviously, I've even Gladiatored a Hela out early. That has happened. It's not like the greatest thing in the world, but you can do it. And this kind of information allows you to make informed decisions in those matchups that other decks simply do not have that level of access to information. And I think that those combined are the two things that make this deck a real threat in the current metagame. Nebula is a one-drop that can get as big as anything in the game. Demanding that your opponent play on a certain lane is incredibly useful in the context of Professor X. First, this is useful for Professor X because she's a great card to put with Professor X. Second, this is useful for Professor X because you can play a Nebula out and know that your opponent is going to be playing into that lane, allowing you to play in others and set up your Professor X that way. This is one of the key dynamics that this deck has going for it. When it has Nebula on one, it is a decent amount stronger than when it is passing turn one, because not only is this a very good one-drop, it is the only one in the deck. I'm not saying this is a snap condition, but you should be aware that when you have a Nebula, you're doing things that are a lot better than otherwise. Daredevil Profex has been an excellent thing to be doing in Marvel Snap for a very long time, and while I realize excellent might be overstating it, part of why it's good right now is because Professor X is very good into a lot of the combo decks right now. Combo decks in this current metagame are things like Phoenix Force, things like Hela, things like Mr. Negative, things like Living Tribunal. Professor X stopping those decks from executing the thing that they're trying to execute is very powerful. Daredevil giving you the ability to see that happen is even more powerful, and Daredevil also works in those matchups against the Elsa decks because you are not exactly able to match them on power, but if you can create a situation where Daredevil can let your Professor X win a lane, you can absolutely cannonball them out of the game if that Professor X lane stays unchallenged. So that is a definite upside of this card in both of the major matchups that you're going to see against combo decks and against Angela Soup. Cable is a bit of a difficult card for me to figure out in this deck. There are a lot of times on turn 2 where I'm not sure if I should be cabling or Jeffing or daredeviling, and often you're looking at your turn 2 and you're like, God, I really just don't know which one of these I want to play. What I've defaulted to is if I have Professor X, or if I think I'm in a matchup where I'm going to need to Daredevil Professor X, then I get him out there. If not, I get Cable out there. However, I think the one that I almost never play on to if I have other options is Jeff. I tend to like to keep Jeff in reserve. He can always be played later, going into a Professor X lane, going into wherever, whereas cards like Cable and Daredevil, they have to be on the board in order to go into a Professor X lane, so I prioritize them a little bit higher because, again, we're looking at trying to win those Professor X lanes, ideally without having to put Jeff on there. There are some arguments for playing Jeff. I think he is a little bit just better generically than these two guys. Being able to move is really important, but I have opted for typically playing the others unless I have no choice. Jeff is Jeff. I really don't know what I'm supposed to say about this guy that you don't already know. He is one of the 5 most played cards in Marvel Snap. He is everyone's favorite gorgeous little boy. And I'm actually going to be doing a cosplay of him because we hit a sub goal on my Twitch channel. So I not only love Jeff, but I have to look like Jeff, order some sort of extra large shark costume. We're going to figure that out. And yeah, there's really nothing else to say. You're a Professor X deck. Of course you run Jeff. Cosmo is the card I think I was the most iffy on in this deck, and after having played it for about like 30-40 games, I remain extremely iffy on it. I think that one of the issues I have with Cosmo is that you're very often strapped for plays on like a turn 5, where you're like, it's turn 5, I'm going to play a 3 and a 2. And if that 3 isn't Gladiator or Zemo, it's usually going to be Cosmo, and he's usually not going to do anything. And I think, there were games where, like, this card wins me the game. That's super awesome. I get to, like, have priority with Daredevil, Cosmo, something that's super dope. There are situations where he's good, but I do think he is probably the weakest card in this list and the one that I just am not sure needs to actually be here. Baron Zemo is not really being used for, like, I'm gonna, like, get a big guy out of your deck. He's really just here to be, like, a 3/7 or a 3/8. And yes, he takes up 2 spots. That is just contributing to the mill. That's really all he's trying to do, is contribute to the mill. One thing you should understand, though, is that you can play him late. It's just that when you save him for later, you are often not making the best plays earlier in the game, and your deck is actually built to have very powerful late game plays with Cannonball and Red Hulk. So this kind of is like a let's tempo out the Zemo deck. It is something real in that sense. And, that's not the end of the world. It's just, I do think he's not being used to his utmost potential. But much like how Annihilus, when Annihilus came out, it was very clear that, you want to play Annihilus with Sentry and Hood, and that's kind of it. You don't need to use him to his utmost potential, because the more you invest in him, the more you can get that turned around on you. I think that is something similar to Baron Zemo. You don't want to hyper invest in him. You just want to play a minimal Baron Zemo package that can really restrict your opponent's options alongside other good control tools. Gladiator, I'm not gonna lie, absolutely did some selling for me. Like, this guy lost me some games on his own that no other card would have lost me. He has absolutely pulled some Red Hulks. He has absolutely pulled some Mockingbirds, a Spider-Woman one time, just a bunch of, like, there's some bad hits with this guy, not gonna lie. One of the things you are going to want to focus on, especially, though, is you want to play Gladiator before Baron Zemo almost every time, because Gladiator is going to have a wide range of targets. Baron Zemo is going to remove the more guaranteed kill from that pool every time because he gets the lowest one left. So Baron Zemo is a card that you're going to want to play after Gladiator if you can afford it basically every single time. So Gladiator, make sure, definitely is the premier turn 3 play in this deck. Shang-Chi is similar to Jeff in that he just kind of goes in everything and is extremely good in everything. And despite the fact that the meta is very warped around him not being as relevant as he otherwise would be, with almost every deck building to not be Shangable, he's still worth running. There are a variety of good hits that Iron Lad can acquire for you. Obviously, hitting things like Jeff is very good. Hitting a Red Hulk is a very threatening play. But one thing that I do want you to keep in mind when you play this card is he can hit Professor X, and you have to think about that when you do it. Now, downsides, of course, he can hit Gladiator, and he's bad when that happens. But when you can play to, like, all right, if this lad hits Professor X, I'm going to win. Obviously, it's like a 1 in 5 a lot of the time, like it's only 20%. But if you can play in such a way that you're not really getting a bunch of downside from it, and if it does happens, you free roll a win, yeah, that's usually how you want to do it. So my main advice with Lad, just keep in mind what the possible hits are. This is very much just a card where it's like, yeah, I'm going to play him on turn 4. Let's go. We're going to play him on turn 4, and he's going to do whatever it is that he does. But thinking about positioning, do be prepared for if he hits Prof X. Prof X is a big part of why this deck makes sense right now because of how good it is into a variety of combo decks. When the mill plan is added to Professor X, I would say this deck feels favored into almost all of the combo decks in the metagame, or at least feels like you're playing a real game of Marvel Snap against them, which is a very different feeling from when you're playing Angela Soup. And I think that Professor X is just a key part of that. Like, locking stuff down is so good against all of these combo decks. He is absolutely elite. Daredevil doing stuff. And the way he works with Cannonball is just phenomenal. Like, it is a very underrated combo by many people, including myself. And I guess this is my mea culpa, because Prof X Cannonball, that shit is good. So let's talk about cannoning some balls. This is a card that I think a lot of people, including myself, underrated when it first came out for a couple of reasons. The first one is we put it in a generic good 5-cost slot in our brains. We were like, okay, this is just like a card we play as a 5 in good stuff decks, and he's not that. He's not Vision. He's not comparable to Vision. Vision is better at doing that thing. So a lot of it was just like, okay, he's not that. Then they nerfed Goliath. And that mattered too, for reasons I'll get into later. And finally, a lot of combo decks sprung up that Professor X was quite good against. And I think all three of those things have contributed to Cannonball becoming what he is today, which is, I guess I would say, like the MODOK or Annihilus of this kind of deck, right? And it doesn't have to be, a specific build of it, right? You can have like the junk builds with no Prof X. You could have the Ravonna Goblin Prof X builds. All of these decks, including this one, are built on Cannonball at this point, because right now, when you win a Prof X lane and you don't have priority and you're within 8, well, you just win. You just win the game. It's the closest thing to old Goliath. And that kind of power is very, very good. So when we're in situations like this, where a card comes out and it takes a little bit of time for people to find it. And I think we're in a similar situation with Pixie. I think one thing that I want to encourage people to do, I want to get this out of the way. Do not buy cards based on theory crafts. The best advice I can give you is to wait as long as possible before spending any resources on a card. Wait as long as possible until multiple people you trust tell you this card is absolutely amazing. But understand also, this is not an exact science. Cannonball was not this good, or would not be this good, without those 3 contextual things happening. And I don't know if anyone was able to predict those reasonably. I would suspect that anyone who said Cannonball was good was not able to predict those reasonably and was just like, guessing the same as anyone else. Please understand that when content creators do this, they are guessing, and I genuinely want the best for you. And that means I would say, unless I make a video that's like, this card is super busted, please wait on it. Like, please don't day one buy unless you are so sure the card is going to be super busted. I had a video on War Machine like the day after he came out that was like, this card's not that good. And I still get people who are like, damn, I spent 4 keys on War Machine. I'm like, I get that video out as fast as I can, and I can't do that every time. So please be kind to yourselves on this one. Like, don't rush into purchases, because it's very often that theory crafting just doesn't hold up in the real world, and Cannonball War Machine is one of those cases. It was one of those cases for me as well. So we talked a lot about Cannonball just now, but I think Red Hulk's a much easier card to talk about. This dude is big as shit. You love playing a big as shit dude, because you are still a deck that's like, aha, I'm playing Professor X. Aha, I need to win another lane. This guy is the best way to win another lane. Like, in the absence of Goliath, Red Hulk, Cannonball have stepped up to fill that spot. That's what they're doing right now. Red Hulk accomplishes it by being enormous, and Cannonball accomplishes it by being Cannonball. A lot of this probably wouldn't be happening if Goliath was still around, but everyone's favorite purple fart cloud is gone. And so now we have to accomplish that goal differently. Red Hulk and Cannonball are how that goal is being accomplished right now. All right, y'all. I hope you enjoyed that look at this intriguing mill deck. I really did enjoy playing it. Let's, of course, jump into the gameplay. And of course, thank you so much for making it this far in the video. I've been Cam Best. You've been phenomenal. I hope you enjoyed the Cam Boost. Let's get into the gameplay. Use all of your energy, because if you miss either of those, you need to have exactly all of your energy on. And we probably should have left for 2 once they snapped, because that's what that means, right? I don't know if I love this play. Wow. Okay, what's it gonna be? Okay, it's Nico. Good. Good. Wait, it gave them a copy of the Nico. That's fucking not good. Fucking not good at all. I think I'm gonna trust the Iron Man Red Hulk here, but we could be in a lot of trouble. Yeah, I mean, that's a lot of guys. Don't get me wrong. All right, let's see if I lose my 8 here. I'm doing no math. This either happens or it doesn't. Magic no longer works on turn 6, and I think that's the only thing they have to get rid of it. They don't have any more Nikos to location change. It's possible they have Shang. This is the worst part about Red Hulk, though. Yeah, I mean, I'd imagine they have a tribunal. I just don't think it works. We'll find out. Yeah, that does not work. It adds 3 every time, so they get to 29 on the Nexus. Ain't enough. Oh, wait, it'll add 4 this time? I still think we win. Yeah, we do. Yep. I mean, it's a respectable effort. It just doesn't beat, you know, Iron Man Red Hulk. I do like drawing my one good card here. I'm a big fan of drawing my 1-drop on 1, the only 1-drop in the entire deck. I do like that. Smoldering? Yes, with the wretched flame of ambition. Yes, of course. Actually, am I meant to cable over here since it's very likely I'm Red Hulking here? Sure. Cerebro 3. Cerebro 3. I dislike this. Wait, does he have any non-Rhino ways to get rid of that Nidavellir? Is it really just Rhino that he doesn't know I took? I guess I don't have any real information. Who knows? Yeah, I guess I don't. Ah, well. You know, in that case, I mean... that seems like a balanced thing to be happening, in my opinion. This seems balanced. He does run Man of Iron. That I do know. I would expect a Man of Iron at some point. Part of why I'm interested in maybe Iron Lad a Cannonball, Iron Lad a Professor X, Iron Lad a Daredevil. Perfect. Oh, I definitely have him muted. For sure. Not even a question. That sure is a Man of Iron. See, now he knows I have the Rhino. Now he's aware I have the Rhino, and he has to play around the Rhino, so I am not playing the Rhino. So we go to 25. Gotta play around a Valkyrie. This goes to the middle. 7, 14. Max is 3. We play around a Valkyrie here. Oh shit. That's a problem. Never mind, we're good. We won the 50-50. Oh wait, was the Jeff even a valid target there? Yeah, we play around the Valkyrie. We're good. It's just a 50-50, right? So I can't beat myself up for it. But, you know. It is fundamentally just a 50-50, and that happens. Yikes. Interesting, actually. Do I get a Cannonball Red Hulk win here? So this kills the Vision here. Then goes middle and sends Vulture to the right, to the left, right? I think it's gotta be like this. Yeah? Boomer snapping. Let's go. That also works, I think. It does not matter. I'm killing something big no matter what. Killing something big no matter what. What? Wait, I'm actually just in a game. Turn 1 snap. I don't know what that means. Thank you, XY Shin. I greatly appreciate it. How do I want to play this? Okay. Okay. I just feel like... So, like, the basic thing happening here is Nightcrawler here, Vision here, then it's just stats, right? But if I call that bluff and play the Red Hulk here, it's, like, a lot harder for them to deal with. The question is, like, wherever they move the Vision, that's where I want to avoid playing the Red Hulk. Oh, okay. I guess just in case, I'll do this. I think I got it wrong? No, yeah, I got it wrong. Wait, no, I got it right. I got it right. I got it right. I genius moded it. By which I mean they made a play that lost no matter where I put it. These are cards. These are certainly cards. No, my Jeff, I needed that. Okay. I have no idea what he's doing. Okay. What was the reasoning for the slower drops on this channel? I wish Darrow was on. I managed to get 19 days of fast drop for 3x value. Yeah, no, I just hate you all, you know? That's the extent of my reasoning. I don't think you deserve anything good, you feel me? I want you all to have bad things happen to you, you know? That's typically where my head is at. Okay, that's not my Zemo. They get my Nebula. So they didn't get my Red Hulk. They did get my Cosmo. The last card in my deck is Gladiator. Does he have a Jeff? Like, it's really kind of the question, right? Is there a Jeff hanging out in here? Because I think there's a world where I can set up for Prof Cannonball, bunch of shit, right? They do have a Jeff and that guy. So does this win? I have no idea. You're saying no. Oh, because the activate slow drops. The real question is, do I even need to move? Because, like, does he have a cannonball? If he cannonballs my cable, it'll be one off if they move Jeff to nowhere. No, we'll be tied. We're gonna say he doesn't have cannonball. Oh wait, we beat Cannonball. Never mind. We just 100% win like this. We just literally always win. We cannot lose unless they have like a Miss Marvel type thing. Figuring out which of these I'm supposed to play at any given time is just so difficult. We're going over here. Yeah, that location is +4. That's why they had so much more than we did there. Oh, that's really fucking bad. I guess it's still kind of technically winnable. We'll see. Like, can we still win this and then just cannonball some shit? Or are they just gonna, like, play a cannonball right here? Do they just have a fucking cannonball or some shit? I'll stick in it for 2. I just kind of want to... No. Yeah, let's see what happens. The Jeff is so great, actually. The Jeff is as good as it gets. Like, we win this lane now. We just leave the Jeff there and we don't lose it. Pretty sure we just won the game. I'm pretty sure we just won the game. Pretty sure we just won the game, baby. Is never, ever try to go for fast drops on my channel. You will get owned. Shout out Wallace Shawn. He's cool as hell. Man, it's slower, so I stick around longer. Yeah, that's really the goal. We're engagement farming here. Oh. What the fuck is this? What is this heinous bullshit? Whoa! Waluigi Time and Armax subbed at the exact same time. Thank you. Welcome back. Thank you to the both of you. Welcome back. We got a hype train going on. The thing is, I just want to know what he's doing. I actually just want to know what he's doing. Like, I'm gonna stay in just so I can find out what this is. Holy hell. Dexter, you have to know. I have no idea. I haven't the slightest clue. Oh, that's horrible. What the fuck? I popped off? I got his Infinite Red Hulk. I got his Infinite Red Hulk. What other big things does he even have in the deck? Hella. Okay, so he gets a Ronin back. What if it's this? Does this work? Woo! We totally bullshitted out of that one. That was the worst shit you've ever seen, chat. You ever just Iron Lad into Odin? How do you win? How do I not? Just like simply not a thing. And people pretend like it's a thing. And I have never seen any evidence. Does anyone actually believe the fast drops thing? I have no idea. I hope not. I wish that had pulled the other one, obviously. Draw two, huh? Eliath got nerfed and reworked even though he wasn't so good. That's not true. That's not true. That's a fake fucking news piece. Eliath got nerfed. He was like one of the best cards in the game at the time he got nerfed. Eliath was really good. He was extremely powerful at the time. Like one of the best cards there was. So if we're assuming they have a Shang, they probably don't have a Shang, actually. They probably don't have a Shang. They're looking at, like, Lady Deathstrike or some shit like that. Or just a Red Hulk, right? I guess we're gonna do something. Look at us! Look at us! Look at us, baby! On reality. And that's just one of those things. Where it's like, oh, a second dinner will nerf it just because people complain about it. They have literally never done it. They have literally never done that, and it's like very easy to figure that out. We got another one. We got another one, baby. Nice fucking fast drops, bro. I'm not saying you can't critique especially their monetization. I think if you're going to pick anything to be, like, mad about, their monetization is a great thing to pick because it fucking sucks. Like, that is super duper real, right? Like, I'm totally with you. Their monetization is booty but cheats. No arguments here. You will not catch me arguing. It's super duper ass. Fucking Isle of Silence. This game would have been a snap like 15 turns ago if it weren't for that fucking card. So Cosmo beats their ass here, right? We go to 18. They go to 16. We know they didn't randomly generate a blue Marvel. Hopefully. How can I die here? What are the ways in which I can die? 50-50, they have my Shang. From what? Oh, the cable. So if they have my Shang, it costs 3. They need to win another lane with it. Yeah, like, it's like Shang, Miss Marvel, they need to have both. Yep, they have my Shang. We got him, baby. That's crazy. It would have worked, too. That's fucked. Agent Coulson nearly took a shit on my whole life there, man. I'm not gonna lie. That is horrific.